Now we are going to discuss some important structures that form the foundation of neuromuscular junction. The first one is the axon terminal buttons. As their name shows, these are located at the end of axon. The next one is the presynaptic membrane, which is the cell membrane of the axon terminal. The next structure is synaptic cleft, also known as synaptic gutter, which is the place where chemical substances are released. The last one is the post-synaptic membrane, which receives signals from post-synaptic membrane. Now, to memorize these structures, you can use the mnemonic assistive peak systolic pressure, or APSP. Now, let us dive deeper into the anatomy of neuromuscular junction. The first structure, which we are going to discuss in detail, is the axon terminal. Well, axon terminals are the small spellings or knobs, which are present at the end or terminal side of the axon. To make it understand more clearly, you can see here we have a visual of a neuron. At the end of the neuron, the axon terminal is present, and if we go much deeper, right here, we can see the whole structure of neuromuscular junction, where synapses occur. Now have a look at the presynaptic membrane. Basically, the membrane present at the end of axon is called as presynaptic membrane, and it is the cell membrane of the axon terminal. What do you think is the purpose of presynaptic membrane? Well, the purpose of this presynaptic membrane is that it helps in the release of neurotransmitter, which are called as body's chemical messengers, that transmit signals to target cells. These neurotransmitters can be acetylcholine, dopamine, serotonin, epinephrine, norepinephrine, GABA, or any other neurotransmitter. Right here, you can see a visual of neuromuscular junction, and here we have our pre-synaptic membrane. Now we are going to talk about the space-like structure, which is also an important component of neuromuscular junction. This is the synaptic cleft. The synaptic cleft is basically the space which separates the two neurons and so acts like a junction between two neuronal ends. Why do it act like a junction? Well, that is because it helps in the passage of nerve impulse from one neuron to the other neuron. Right here, we have a microscopic visual of neuromuscular junction, and so this space-like structure which you can see is synaptic cleft. Now, the last major component of neuromuscular junction is the postsynaptic membrane. The postsynaptic membrane is the part of the junction where the receptor molecules are present. Neurotransmitters binds with these receptor molecules and thus initiates the reaction. Depolarization occurs, and so action potential is generated, and so the impulses travel downward. By now, we all know that neurotransmitters are released, and so the nerve impulses travel. But the structure in which neurotransmitters are stored are called synaptic vesicles. These vesicles are sac-like structures that hold the neurotransmitter and release them when required. Now, we are going to talk about a self-replicating essential organ which is present throughout the body. Yes, we are talking about the mitochondria present in the presynaptic as well as post-synaptic terminal. The function of mitochondria is that it modulates the calcium ions to regulate the synaptic transmission by allowing the opening of the voltage-gated calcium channels, which then releases the calcium, and this calcium activates the synaptic vesicle to release neurotransmitter. So that was all about the structure of neuromuscular junction. But video isn't finished here, because we are going to discuss the synapses in the next part. So, stick around,